What would you tell your younger self? Anything at all, any advice, any opinion, what would you tell your younger self not to worry about so much?
Don't worry about other people. Don't worry about what other people think about you, what their expectations of you are. Um, don't worry about the limits they place on you. A lot of people out here are scared. A lot of people out here are very unsure of themselves and unsure of the world, and that's okay. But we have, as humans, we have the tendency to project our fears and insecurities on other people, and then those people take on ours, and then it just gets into this mess. Something I struggled with a lot coming into UCF in the first couple of years. I kept trying to please everybody around me, please my coach, please my mom, please um, my friends, please my professors, please people back in St. Cloud who at the frankly didn't really give a crap about me or what I was doing because I left the town. You know what I'm saying? I was trying to do it for the cloud. I was trying to do it for everyone back home, but no one was doing anything for me. You know what I'm saying? So like if I could tell my 18, 19-year-old self was do it for you. Don't worry about proving people wrong. Like prove yourself right.
And leading off that, why do you think us as athletes, us as people, human nature, why do we try to prove it to everyone else except us first? Why do we do that?
Question. I think part of it is rooted in ego. Everyone has an ego. Everyone is prideful. So I think first understanding that and trying to break that down. Um, Obviously, you want to take pride in what you do. You want to be proud of the stuff you accomplish, but not to the point where that's the reason you're doing it. Not just to show you, look what I did, look what I'm doing, because they don't care, right? But to your question, like why do we do that? I think it's learned behavior. And again, it could be right, it could be wrong. I'm not here to say which one it is, but it could be dangerous if you're doing things for the wrong reason. A saying my mom used to tell me all the time was check the motive in everything. Check your motive. What are you doing this for? Because if it's for somebody else, for something that's not going to feed you or serve you, don't do it. You know?
Yeah, it definitely is. Now more than ever, it's harder to focus on yourself, especially with the prevalence social media has taken. Everyone wants likes, everyone wants followers, everyone wants to look cool in the eyes of others, where we stop focusing on ourselves. We want to make sure everyone sees our accolades, everyone sees that we're okay, everyone sees that my life is a life you should live. And we're trying to copy celebrities and all
Yeah.
these famous athletes and all these other things that we almost in a sense can't focus on ourselves because everywhere you turn, it's highlighting someone else's life, which makes our lives twice as hard because we're always comparing and contrasting my life to someone else's, and that just, as you know, gets us nowhere.
Yeah, for sure. And I think a good rule of thumb with this would be let's just talk about social media for a second. We'll post we'll post an exercise video or something cool and we'll get our likes, right? That feels good. That's cool. People are recognizing our accomplishments, what we're doing. A good rule of thumb I think you should people should do to ask yourselves and put yourself through is if whatever the variable is, likes, mentions, follows, money, praise, whatever that variable is, if that did not exist, would you still do it? You know, would posting that shirtless picture, would you still do that if you didn't get 3,000 likes on it? If you would, do it. Cool. But if you're doing it just for the money, just for the likes, just for the fake scholarship offers, just for the clout, maybe you should reevaluate what you're doing.
I like that a lot. And that circles back to the whole topic of this podcast, which I think is a good ending point of what if you just focused on yourself? What if you just worried about you? It's plain and simple. What if you just put all your time and effort in on yourself and stop worrying about others? How much farther would you really be? There's any time to think about what if I put more time into myself? That should be the question we ask ourselves. What if we focus on us?
That's a great ending point. And that reminds me of, you remember, it was probably the 20, whatever the last Summer Olympics were, it was 18 or 16, whatever. The last one Michael Phelps was in the
Mm-hmm.
swim. And there's that picture of Michael Phelps doing he's right here, he's swimming, he's focused forward.
Butterfly stroke, yes, sir.
The guy next to him was like this, was like looking at Michael Phelps, and
Right.
ends up losing. He was supposed to win. He was supposed to beat Michael Phelps. There was all of this trash talk and all this like built up story behind it. You see him doing his stroke, looking out the water, looking at Michael Phelps. You see Michael Phelps deadlocked on himself and on the goal forward, and he's just swimming, and he ends up winning that race. We'll post that picture later on so you can see what we're talking about if you don't know what I'm talking about. But that's such, it's so true now. It will hold true forever. If you focus on you, yeah, laser focus, tunnel vision on what you're doing, you don't have time for the distractions. You know, I got one more thing to say. Just reminded me of something Gary Vee taught me is you got to block out the noise, because just as much as you hear and love the praise and accolades and stuff, you hear the hate and you hear the BS in the comment section and all the doubters. If you have the ability to block out both, you're straight, because you can't have one without the other. Yin and yang, right? You can't have good without the bad. So as much as you're going to feed into the likes and the positivity, you're going to get the negativity. If you can learn how to block both of them out, it's neutral. There is nothing. It's just you.